Today's conversation is going to look closely at passion and purpose. Um, the viewpoint that I hold, at least, is that passion is more of an individual motivator, while purpose is a motivator for a group, a community, or essentially an organization, right? Here, they seem as two seemingly separate aspects. However, the alignment of these aspects is something that is very interesting to dissect, because not only does this alignment lead to the key success for the organization, but it is also a success point for the society as a whole. And according to our guest, this synergy, this alignment between passion and purpose is almost an art. A little bit about our guest before I bring him on. He is Mr. Rama Shankar Pandey. By professional means, he is the managing director at Hella Lighting Limited. However, interestingly, though, he is a visionary, a leader who was able to sort of transform how the workplace functions and make it one of the great place to work. So without further ado, I'd like to call our guest on board, Mr. Ramashankar Pandey. So firstly, talking about passion and purpose, you had mentioned briefly in our initial conversation about what toxicity does in a way to hinder this passion and purpose to manifest. And I think you also mentioned briefly about having experienced it somewhere in your professional experience. So, could you help me and also our viewers understand what are the signs and symbols of toxicity that we could all be mindful of?
Thank you so much, Neha. Thanks for hosting me. It's a pleasure because this is a cause which I think the world has to change its KPI of life to more towards, how do we match this passion with purpose? Because, there are two kind of work you do. One which you want to do and one which you are asked to do. And if you're paid for something which you want to do, what great you want. And that's the club we have to build. So coming back to your passion with purpose, the whole survival of Homo sapien, if you look at why we are surviving so many millions of years, and you'll read any book for that matter, and you will see one of the very interesting fact with Homo sapien is we are able to organize ourselves into large groups by the means of conversation, by the means of ideas, imagination. That actually is the center point of building collective purpose. That's why you say purpose is organizational, purpose is collective, purpose is team. But over millions of years, we have been successful doing it. So I don't think this is not natural. This is natural. Only now that we have deviated little bit because of the capital productivity taking the precedence rather than human productivity taking the precedence. And that's why we see some conflict. To me personally, I've never seen this conflict. And I would like to propagate this, that there is no conflict. When passion meets purpose, wonders can be created.